Welcome back to Wes Explains Best. We're going to do part 2 of our surface area and volume of cylinders and prisms. So our first problem we have is how do the surface areas of the two prisms compare? So we have like a short, fat one, and we have a long, skinny one. And we're going to see how they compare. So cylinder number 1, we need to find the surface area. So we need to recollect our surface area formula. So surface area, the first thing we have to find is we need to understand what our radius is. So our radius is going to be this distance here, which is half the diameter. It gives us the diameter, so we know our radius is 6, and this one is going to be 4. Okay, and we need to know our height. Our height is going to be 5 here, so this is our radius. Height is starting at 5, 15, and then our height is going to be 20 over here. So we're going to do surface area of number 1 first. I guess that makes sense. We need to do the lateral area plus the two bases. Let's start with the lateral area, which is equal to 2 pi r times the height. So 2 times pi times the radius, which is 6, times h. Now h is 15, and we just plug that into our calculator. We get 30 times 6, that's 180 pi. I'm going to keep this in terms of pi, and I'm going to put it as a decimal also. So we have 180 times pi, and I get 565.5 rounded inches squared. Again, we're talking about area, so we need to talk about inches squared. Now we need to find the area of a base. The area of a base is equal to pi r squared. So that's equal to pi times 36. 6 squared is 36. Let me write that out just so you see. 6 squared, so we have 36 pi. So if we're talking about our total our total surface area, total, not turtle, total surface area, we're talking about 180 pi plus 2 times 36 pi, which is 180 plus 72. So we get 252 pi. Decimal form, 252 pi is 791.7 inches squared. Okay, so we have a reference here for our first one. Now we need to do number 2. So in number 2, same process. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the lateral area. The lateral area equals 2 pi r times h. We know r is 4, 2 times pi, times 4, and then times 20. So that is equal to 160 pi. So as you can see, our lateral area is a little bit smaller than the other one. Let's move to our base. Maybe our base is going to be a little bit bigger. I doubt it because it's a smaller circle. So then we have pi r squared for our base. That's pi times 4 squared. That's square the 4 first, and then multiply by pi. We get 16 pi. Now we need to double that for our formula. So surface area, let me scoot this down. Surface area, oh, I lost this guy. Surface area is equal to our lateral area, which is 160 pi, plus our two bases, 2 times 16 pi, and I get 160 pi plus 32 pi, and that is 192 pi. So much smaller surface area here, 192 times, just out of curiosity, and we get 603.2 inches squared. So much smaller than the other cylinder. Now moving on to a triangular prism problem. Hopefully we can have enough space here. I'm going to shrink this up just a little bit to give us more space. I'm going to shrink this also. Okay. If it costs 47 cents per square foot for tent material, how much would it cost to make this tent? Now let's assume here that the tent needs to cover the front and the back and all the sides and even the bottom. Okay, so essentially we're trying to find, this is a surface area problem. If you can't identify its surface area, you need to understand spatially what is surface area before kind of proceeding on from here. So surface area of a prism. First thing we need to do is find the lateral area, and then we need to add the two bases. We know the lateral area is going to be the perimeter times the height And we know the base is a triangle, so we're going to do 1/2 base times height for the area of the triangle, and then multiply that by 2. So we can keep that in mind that we're going to be multiplying the base by 2. So let's go ahead and start with the lateral area. I think this is going to be a little bit more challenging than you expect. So we need to find the perimeter. Now, here's where a lot of people mess up. They're looking at this and they're thinking, okay, do I find the perimeter of this guy? Do I find the perimeter of this bottom rectangle? How do I know what to find the perimeter of? Well, you find the perimeter of the base. So the perimeter of the base is, the base is a triangle, so we need to find the perimeter of the triangle. So let's go ahead and start there. So we find the perimeter of the triangle, and it's in blue. So that's the perimeter. Now, we know that this is 6, and we know the height is 6. That doesn't help us a whole lot because we need to find the hypotenuse here. Now, assuming that this is a proportionate triangle, if this is 6 and this is splitting it in 2, I assume it's splitting in 2. It needs to be for us to really understand how to do this problem. Assuming that's a right angle, that means this is going to be 3 and this is going to be 3. That makes 6, and then we know the height is 6. So if this is 3 and this is 6, we can use Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side. I'm going to keep this in decimal form because we're going to be multiplying it by a dollar amount anyway. So we're going to do 3 squared plus 6 squared is going to be equal to, and I need to find this missing side, let's call it c, so it's going to be equal to c squared. So we have 9 plus 36, change to purple here, 9 plus 36 is equal to c squared. That's 45, and now I need to take the square root of that to get c by itself. So we get c is equal to, calculate, 6.71. So I know this is 6.71. So if I'm finding lateral area, I need to do the perimeter times the height. We know what the height is. The height is 12. But what's the perimeter? So we know the height. I'll put that in parentheses. The perimeter is going to be 6, that's the base, plus these two other sides, 6.71 plus 6.71, parentheses. And I'm going to keep it in full term. I'm going to use multiple decimals. I'm not rounding it on my calculator because it's already stored. So I got 19.42 rounded. I'm going to multiply that by 12 because that's my height. So I get times 12, and I get 232.99. I'm going to round this up. This is a good time to round. So I get 233 feet squared. That's a lot of material for a tent. 233 feet squared, but we're not even done. We need to find the area of the base now. The area of the base is going to be much easier. 1/2 the base, which is 6, and the height. Well, we were given the height right away. We're told that the height of the tent is 6 feet. That's a pretty darn big tent, if you ask me. So we have 36 times 1/2. That gives us 18. And now we're ready for our surface area problem, or formula. So we know the surface area is equal to the lateral area, which we said was 233, plus 2 times the base. The area of the base was 18 feet squared, so we're going to do 2 times 18, which gives us 36. So we 233 plus 36, we get 269 feet squared. Now, this is a great honors problem because that didn't just ask for the surface area, it asked to apply. It says it will cost 47 cents per square foot. So how do we find out how much this is going to cost? Well, to find out per square foot, we need to multiply this by 0.47 dollars per square foot. So we multiply this by 0.47, and we get $126.43. So if you're complaining about a tent that costs $150, according to this, that actually isn't too much of a markup. You get $226.43. Hope you found this helpful. You understand the basics of surface area and lateral area of prisms and cylinders, and I'll see you next time on Wes Explains Best.